Well, hey, good morning, everybody. This is Dave coming to you from the Wyoming house. It is another picture perfect day here in Wyoming. It's about 11:30 in the morning on Friday, and today is it's time for another red flannel Freedom Friday. And before we head into the weapons, I have two to show you today. Both of them are shotguns. Um, we don't wear the red for nothing, right? And so, I see Uncle Willie and some others wearing the red, and I just want to say again, I said it last week, and I'll say it again every time as long as I have the red shirt, right? Um, we need to remember those that stand in front of us to allow us to have YouTube channels, to have YouTube even exist, to have us argue about who can put what on their channels, for us to discuss what a good tobacco is and how much we should have in our cellars, and complain about our politicians and our political system and all that. None of that would be possible if we did not have our armed forces standing out in front of us. And standing out in front of us a long ways away, those who are deployed really do maintain our ability to have the lifestyle we have. And I don't know if we pay attention to that enough. And the deployed people, I don't know if I don't see it discussed enough that deployment means you keep the fight over there, right? Now, the southern border issue aside, that's a political issue. That is not a military solution. I think if the military asked, they'd shut all the borders. That's a political conversation, not a deployed conversation. So again, we wear the red to remember those who are deployed, particularly in the forward operating areas, who make our life possible by keeping the fight over there. Okay? So let's keep that in mind as we go on with the rest of this video, please. I guess the second thing I'd like to talk about before we get into the weapons is, as we talk about Freedom Friday and Flannel Freedom Friday and Red Flannel Freedom Friday, and some of you guys are doing sharp things Saturday, and I'm as big a proponent as anybody on Team Freedom, YTPC, Team Freedom. So guys, are we acting it, right? I mean, we've got over 100 badges out there now. So my question is, you don't have to answer me, but the question is, are you doing some basic freedom shit, right? Are you flying a flag? Sorry about that, I had a call come in. So the question is, are you flying a flag? Is there a U.S. flag or your country's flag flying out in front of your house every day? I don't need to know the answer to that, but you do. And these are the basics. It's one thing to say Team Freedom, but my worry is we're doing mouth only. So, what are some actions you can take? Are you prepared? Can you be self-sufficient for a couple of weeks if something were to go wrong? Are you flying a flag so everybody knows, right? Are you being public about how freedom-oriented you really are? Or are you carrying a keychain around on your desk? So I don't mean to sound judgmental, but I'm an action-oriented guy, and I don't want us to be a bunch of keychain carriers. So maybe if you fly a flag, put a picture in it, right? Show it in your next video, or if you're a commenter, maybe just post a video. I mean, not a video, just post a picture of your flag flying. It's actually my profile picture, so you see it every time I post a video. That thing is hanging in the front of my house and hangs there 365 days a year. So anyway, enough on that. All right, guys. So my first weapon today, it's one of the things I recommend first. One of your first weapons you ever purchase, and that is a tactical 12 gauge shotgun. This one is basically, it's your Remington 870, and you can see it's chambered 12 gauge, and you can see it's chambered for 2 3/4 or 3-inch. You can see it's got a Magpul forearm on it. It's 5 in the pipe, 1 in the chamber, and then the other modification, I didn't really make a mod to it, but I put this tactical sling on it, and I like when I pick my weapon up, I have at least 10 to 15 rounds, and this gives me 16 rounds as is. So you can see I've got some different kind of ammo in here. You can see I have some 3-inch and some 2 3/4. I hope to never have to fire 3-inch. That's kind of hard on you. But what I do have here is 2 3/4 double-aught buck, and I think it's probably 6 pellet. And then I've got 3-inch, what they call number 8 shot, and this is 16 pellet. And so I can choose what to load in it after I've gone through the 5 or 6 that I have in here. This weapon has your basic safety down here. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the red. Red is dead, right? So that is safety off. That is safety on. It's got the same slide release right here. You just push this up, and then you can cycle your ammo out if you need to, or if you need to look inside the chamber, you just release the slide lock and push it back. This is your basic. It's as basic as you get. This is my recommended first weapon purchase if you need to purchase weapons. If you don't have any for home defense, this is it. So when I'm in Maryland, I preach Mossberg, Mossberg, Mossberg. I'm a Mossberg 500 guy. That is my preferred weapon. This is essentially the same gun, okay? Now, the gun nuts are going crazy. Oh, no, Remington and Mossberg. How can you say that? They're the same weapon. This is essentially a Mossberg 12 gauge, a Remington 12 gauge. They operate in the same manner. You can put the same ammo. They're chambered the same way. When I went to purchase my first weapon for this house, my favorite gun store carried Remington, and they did not have a Mossberg. I bought it anyway. Chambers the same ammo. So that's why I bought this weapon. All right, the second weapon is my little Mossberg Shockwave. You've seen this in my Maryland videos. You saw it in my Shotgun Saturday Roundup. This thing is tiny. I mean, look at this thing. It's barely wider than my shoulders, or longer than my shoulders are wide. Got a nice little Mossberg foregrip. Let's see, what can I show you here? You can see it's chambered for 2 3/4 and 3-inch. Man, you fire a 3-inch shell out of this thing, you better have a good grip on it. Let you read that. So this one is not shoulder fired. So this is it's not a pistol grip, but it's just a standard grip, but it is meant to be fired from this position. You do not want to put it up here. It will beat the snot out of your cheekbone. So anyway, on the Mossbergs, the safety's on top instead of on that Remington. It was right here. And that's about the only real difference. The slide release is right here, just like on the Remington. Again, 5 in the pipe, 1 in the chamber, and the only thing I changed is I put the exact same sling on it, and I have a bunch of ammo here. Where I think I have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have 10 number 3, 16, or 8, size 8. So I really should swap these out for 2 3/4 double-aught buck. But if someone were to come venturing into my house without my permission, this is probably what would be staring at them first. If not, it would be the Remington. So there you go. Those are the 2 weapons of the day. The Remington 870 and the Mossberg Shockwave. And it's almost impossible to show them to you at the same time. I'm just not that coordinated. 2 great weapons. Taste great together. All right, guys. That is it for Freedom Friday. We will talk to you later. Bye, you guys.